Elias Crane had never believed in love at first sight. Love, he thought, was something earned slowly, like trust or skill in his trade. But the day he saw her, standing in the amber glow of the dying sun, framed by merchant stalls and drifting spice-scented air, something in him betrayed that belief. She was dressed simply, yet somehow, it was simplicity that made her arresting. A pale gown, a silver veil draped over glossy hair, the barest touch of color on her lips. And her eyes, emerald green, but not the soft green of spring. No. These eyes had a weight to them, like the forest at night, when unseen things move between the trees. They spoke briefly, politely. He remembered none of his own words, only her voice, low, measured, a tone that made ordinary questions sound like riddles. She called herself Celine. She gave no surname. Within weeks, she was everywhere. Not by accident, he knew she allowed him to find her. When she agreed to marry him, it felt unreal. Friends congratulated him. Strangers stared with awe and envy. The ceremony took place at the cliffside chapel, where gulls circled overhead, and waves struck the rocks far below. The veil caught the wind like gossamer, and for a moment, Elias thought he saw a shadow pass over her expression, not sorrow, not joy, but something unreadable. Her vows were perfect. Her smile, flawless. And yet, as the priest bound their hands with the silk cord, he felt the faintest tightening in his chest. A warning, without a cause. That night, he woke to cold sheets. The silver veil lay neatly folded at the bed's edge, and the door was open, letting in the scent of salt, and the sound of distant waves. Following her footsteps, Elias stepped into the courtyard. Moonlight silvered the stones. Celine stood by the old well, speaking in low tones to a man cloaked in black. "I told you," the man murmured. "He trusts you. Tomorrow, you bring him to the gates. The rest will be done." Celine nodded once. "He won't suspect." Elias's blood ran cold. Harrow. The same Harrow who had once sworn Elias's family would pay for the debt they never repaid. The sea roared below the cliff. And Elias realized the truth: he was not a husband. He was a key, one that would unlock his own ruin. His first instinct was to storm into the courtyard and demand an explanation. But he didn't move. Confrontation now would only make him a prisoner faster. Instead, he slipped back into the bedchamber, lying down before the cold reached his bones. When Celine returned minutes later, she moved like a ghost. He forced his breathing to remain slow, his body relaxed. The mattress dipped beside him. Her fingers brushed his hair once, almost tenderly, before she turned away and slept. But Elias lay in the dark with his eyes open until dawn. The next morning, Celine served him tea. Jasmine, his favorite. Too perfect. "Sleep well?" she asked, smiling. "Well enough," he lied. She spoke of visiting the northern gates that afternoon, exactly where Harrow had told her to take him. Her eyes looked warm, but beneath, something watchful. Measuring. By midday, they reached the northern quarter. Narrow streets, old stonework, the air thick with tanneries and iron. Celine's hand was light in his, her words casual, but he saw them. Two men leaning against a wall. Another pretending to browse wares. Harrow's eyes, everywhere. When they reached the gates, Celine slowed. "Why don't you wait here?" "No," Elias said, smiling like her. "We go together." She faltered. "Only for a heartbeat." "Then, together, then." As they passed under the gate arch, Elias mentioned casually, "A messenger came this morning. My uncle sent funds for the shipment. Twice what we expected. In the safe now." It was bait. Her eyes brightened for a fraction of a second before she hid it. That evening, dinner, candlelight, easy laughter. When night came, Elias told her he would lock the safe, knowing she'd listen. Inside, he left only one sealed envelope. "You opened the wrong door." Near midnight, footsteps. The study door creaked, metal scraped. A pause. When she returned, she didn't lie down. She stood at the window, rain silvering her profile. The next morning, Harrow arrived at the front door. Two men flanked him. Celine stood between them, her composure fraying. "Where is it?" Harrow demanded. "In a safer place than you'll ever reach," Elias replied. Celine's eyes flickered, relief? While Harrow's men searched, Celine stepped close. "You don't understand. If he doesn't get what he wants, he'll..." "What do you want, Celine?" Elias asked. She hesitated. "Freedom. For both of us." From the study, Harrow's fury. "Where is it?" Elias smiled. "Did you like my note?" Harrow lunged. Celine moved first, dagger flashing from beneath her gown. "Run." They fled into rain-soaked streets, turning, twisting, until the voices faded. Under the shadow of the southern wall, Elias asked, "Were you his?" "Once. Not by choice. He owns people the way some own land. He sent me to you because you were the last piece he needed. But I saw a way to end it instead. And if I hadn't figured it out? Then I would have done what he asked, and hated myself forever." She removed her silver veil and let it fall into the mud. No more masks. Somewhere, city bells tolled midnight. Harrow would keep hunting. But for now, they had each other. And Elias knew, whether she was his salvation or his ruin, he would walk beside her until the very end.